Hey, welcome in Huntsville. Another wonderful good morning to you. Thanks for waking up with us. What do you love about Huntsville? What makes this a great place to be?
Everyone here is very genuine and very kind and friendly. You never hesitate to speak up and say hello or good morning or just acknowledge the person walking by.
The thing that I love most about Huntsville, I love the peace that Huntsville brings. I love the peace that it gives me.
I feel accepted and part of the town and like I belong here.
Huntsville is where my lovely wife lived when I met her, so I moved here. So I'm pretty thankful for her.
All right.
We're bucking for you in Huntsville, Texas.
Hello, I'm Billy Cobbin, the Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home.
Hey, it's Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools.
Good morning, Huntsville.
Good morning.
Hey, I'm Karen.
I'm Toy. And I'm Denise.
And from all of us at Walker County Federal Credit Union, good morning, Huntsville.
Were you ever one of those parents like, you know what I'm talking about?
Sound effect?
No. The parent that they call it. There's a certain word for this kind of parent.
Oh, a
helicopter parent. Were you ever a helicopter parent?
I hope not.
What is that? Is that where you just like float around, you hover over your kids?
Hover over your kids all the time, no matter what they're doing.
Oh man, I couldn't do that.
Yeah,
you know, you gotta let them be themselves sometimes. You know, you gotta put a restriction on them. You know, Braylon and Caden have discovered and I talk about this with Kay on Wednesdays. I don't like my kids being around electronic gadgets like screens and stuff. Mm-hmm. And I attribute that to a lot of reasons why Braylon is just so bright is because she's learning in the world. You know,
right.
She's not learning from a screen. Now, I will say Miss Rachel taught her a bunch of stuff. That woman, have you heard of her?
No.
Like Miss Rachel's millions of followers on YouTube.
Oh, wow.
She's not just some other YouTube star. She actually has a teaching background.
That's awesome.
And so she teaches. And so Braylon watched a little bit of that growing up, and I got her on VeggieTales. That's a requirement, you know. Mm-hmm. But she's discovered my Facebook portal that's like 8 years old, you know, so obviously it's out of its prime and it runs slow as dirt now and all that, but it's one of those picture frame. I got it so my mom and I could easily talk back and forth with video. Well, Braylon has discovered how to pull up videos on that thing, and so I got to be careful because I'll look over and then she's over there like doing stuff. I'm like, get off of that thing. So we let her use it sometimes, but not all the time. So
that's cool.
Well, hey, welcome in. Here we go. As we are rocking and rolling, making sure the sound's working today. Apparently, the first like 4 minutes yesterday, it was like this when people were watching. You know, nobody heard us, Jason. Let's make sure that's working. This is why I love doing the live production, man. It gives people a sense of what it's like to have things, you know,
go wrong,
unprofessional. See, when Jason's here, the professionalism steps up.
No, that ain't true at all.
Well, we do want to welcome you in. Thanks for being a part of it this morning as we get rolling here on this Thankful Thursday, episode number 432. Jason Bay here, pastor at First Baptist, is always joining us, and it's good to have you back, Pastor. I know Last week, y'all, where were you at last week? There was something going on last Thursday. Was that a holiday?
I was here last Thursday, but the Thursday, Thursday before that, I was out. So, yeah, it's been hit and miss since the first
Oh, yeah, you were here because we had an extended show.
Yeah, that's right. We
Sunday.
had to catch up.
I don't know if I have the energy for an extended show today. In fact, we're going to go ahead and say thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you later. No, welcome in as we do get rolling again. As I just said a few moments ago, we are here. It is episode number 432. Do us a huge favor as we get rolling this morning. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and if you're on YouTube, thank you for subscribing. If you're across the social media platforms, thank you as well for being a part. Steph Valley of Magnolia Kennel does such a great job of sharing this broadcast periodically where she'll put @followers. And so if you could do the same or just share it on your page or in groups that you may be in, it really does make a huge difference. We're noticing our viewership go up. We're also noticing a new audience. We still have a lot of our existing friends joining us, but we do have a lot of new folks that are tuning in as well. And friends, this show isn't going anywhere. I was thinking this morning, Jason, when I got up, that this is part of my routine now. And there's not one morning, there's mornings where I wish I could sleep in, but even that's starting to fade away now. I don't have that desire as much because I like to be up and I like to be moving around.
Right.
I'm going to tell you, all these holidays, I was thankful, and we mentioned a little bit about this last week, but it just threw me off, and I'm still trying to get back on track. Mm-hmm. And so I like being in the rhythm. I like bringing you the show, and we love connecting with our audience and just wanting to know how you guys are. Oh, my goodness, straight from what happened here? Man, I got to people don't know what's going on, but we just had a mystery woman show up behind the scenes. I thought she was down in the weird town in Central Texas.
Yeah.
So did they let you off the hook? Yeah, they did. Okay, you're not officially gone out of there though, right? No. Okay, good, because I'm not gonna break the news. Michelle Cardenas is here. Man, she's for real. I thought she was joking whenever she said she'd keep in touch. One of those nice things, where it's like, oh, well, I'll just keep in touch with you, and then you never hear from them again. I thought, well, that's the end of Michelle, and I guess because now she's not here to get her what is it, W-4? Is that what you sent, or W-2? Because I already sent it to her. So she is here legitimately. Look at this, Jason. What'd she bring?
Oh, man, she knows what she's doing.
Man. So Michelle is here. I got a call yesterday. It was the coolest call I ever got, by the way. I don't know if I can spill the beans on this. Is it okay so I got this call yesterday, and it was like, hello, real professional, kind of like Jason Bay, super professional. Hello, is this Mr. Rob Hipp? And I was like, oh, yes, it is. It's Mr. Rob Hipp. How you doing? And we need to ask you a few questions. This is in regards to a reference for a Michelle Cardenas. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm calling on behalf of Governor Abbott's office. And I was like, legit.
Yeah.
And so, of course, I gave Michelle I said, wow, she's got so much she needs to work on. They said, what is her productivity? I said, she never even came in. She'd call me 30 minutes after she's supposed to be here. And she's like, Mr. Hipp, I'm sorry, I'm binge watching Netflix. I can't make it this morning. No, I gave her a positive. I gave her a very positive, well-deserved, and a 100% truthful review, and it was all positive. They were asking me, was there anything negative? I was like, not really. You always try to find one thing, though, and I really couldn't find one thing with Michelle. There was one thing that I had told her early on about, just being a little more confident in yourself, and she blew that out of the water, too, once I told her. So I was like, really nothing. Mm-hmm. So welcome in, Michelle. She is in the studio today, and it's great. Jason, a week's gone by, man. I know you guys have been a little under the weather, but doing better now. How are things going? What have you been up to, man? It's good to see you, by the way.
Oh, it's been going hit and miss. As I said, we were talking earlier before the show, our sickness kind of hit our family, and we have been under the weather, caught up with me, and I missed last Sunday, but I got the chance to watch it online. I'm so thankful for Don Jackson. Don as the headmaster at Alpha Omega, but also our associate pastor here. And I'm so thankful God brought him here because, you were telling me in broadcasting, there's no such thing as sick days. You're there regardless.
Yeah, I called a game with like 102 fever and a trash can next to me, before. So,
and it's always been that way with me in preaching. It didn't matter what happened on Sunday morning, you better be there because there's nobody else to fill in. And I've always longed to have someone on staff, and occasionally throughout my ministry, I have had those people that you could just call last minute, and they would have something and say, I got it. But most of the time, you're scrambling at the last minute.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm so thankful that Don is on staff for not only just when I'm not here or absent, but also we intentionally use him. He's a great preacher and a minister, and he filled in for me on Sunday, gave me a chance to kind of recuperate, and then I had to miss Monday and Tuesday, and was back yesterday. And last night we had our upwards basketball practice, so we're getting those kids ready to roll. Saturday it all rolls out. We start our upward basketball games here at the church on all day Saturday. So it's a busy time of the year, but it's a fun time.
There was only about 200 boxes in the hallway there that said upwards on them. So
yeah.
Is that the jerseys have came in?
Yeah, the jerseys.
Do you get a jersey as a coach?
You get a coach's shirt that they wear, yeah.
And instead of a number on the back, it just says letters OG.
No, it doesn't say anything.
Except yours says OP, original pasta, instead of original gangsta. It says original pasta. Is that what OG stands for?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to have any of that around here. We're going to have OPs around here. So. Well, that's great, man. I know the Upwards is always a great program. You maybe highlight a couple things. You know, it's been a ministry here at First for so many years. I didn't realize that it was something that First really took on. Mm-hmm. And if you think about it, with no YMCA here anymore, it's really the only basketball league for kids.
Yeah, it is. The YMCA doesn't do the basketball here anymore, and so we've done it. And both my boys were in it, and they learned basketball and upwards basketball and went on to play in high school and really really learned to love basketball. And all my kids have gone through it, and it's a great program. It's a teaching league, and it's a great program for kids to kind of learn the game. And we've always had a good time. I'm coaching this year, and my boys that are students at A&M are going to be our refs for this year. So they'll be driving home every Saturday to ref the games.
Yeah, they're coming all the way from College Station, man.
Yeah, it's helpful to have them to help, because that's one of the hardest positions to fill in the game is the refs, because we can't pay refs like high school refs, because they're like $120 a game, and if we did
more than I was getting broadcasting games. Wow, I should have did that.
Yeah. Well, if you see what a lot of them undergo when they're reffing,
they're underpaid.
They're underpaid. But they come down and help us out there and save us the money, and we don't pay them much. We just pay them mainly for their travel and a little bit for their time. But it's good for them to get out, and they love upwards basketball, so it's a win-win.
Are you jamming on your way in, like as the coach? Do you have a theme song, like to get you pumped up for the little upwards?
No, not so much. Now sometimes I put it on for the kids when I feel like they're just halfway asleep. All right, come on, it's game on. Get up. It's time to get your game face on. Let's go.
Put on a little Merle Haggard, George Jones.
No, that always tunes them up. You know.
I'm a Merle Haggard, George Jones fan, though. You know, I like those guys.
Me too.
The song that I would think, I'm gonna read you some lyrics here, okay? And then you tell me what song it is. All right?
Okay.
They're playing basketball around the world. We love that basketball. You remember that one?
Yeah, I do remember.
They're playing basketball. Yeah, now basketball is my favorite sport. I like the way they dribble it up and down. I'm just reading it now, trying to be that cool rapper. I like the way they dribble it up and down the court. I keep it fresh on the microphone. I like no interruption when the game is on.
Well, that is some...
You know who that is.
Extensive lyrics.
You remember this little guy, Little Bow Wow, back in the day?
Oh, yeah.
Ruff, ruff, ruff. Yeah. There you go. Never thought I'd bark on the show, but there it is. So
you did it.
I'm going to get you that song, and I'm going to throw in some custom lyrics in there for you, Jason.
I need it. Absolutely.
Well, we do want to, again, welcome you in. Thank y'all for sharing this. Many of you are already commenting in this morning. And, hey, Bill Doggett, our county commissioner, Precinct 3, saw him yesterday at Rotary. Good to see you on this morning. Brother Bill, appreciate all the work. Our something on a very serious note, I want to thank all of our city workers. They work so hard. Here coming up next week, Monday, Inauguration Day. Michelle's going to be there, so maybe we can live stream in. What time is the inauguration, Michelle?
It starts around 11 to noon.
Okay. So 11 to noon, starts around 5 in the morning. Bridget had called me yesterday and said, my sister was supposed to come in, and they're not going to be able to make it in now. She usually comes around MLK Day to stay with us a couple of days. My mom was going to come, but they're all under the weather too. And so, and I told her, I said, well, we haven't been feeling too hot, so maybe just stay home this time. And plus, here's where I was getting at. The roads are going to be, apparently, we could have some winter weather. Anytime the meteorologists start saying it's going to happen, it never does. They're talking about it, so we'll see. I made a bold prediction last week that nothing would happen. Nothing did. Just a miserable cold rain.
Right.
But now the temperature's supposed to be even lower, and Houston is even has snow in the forecast now. So we'll see how that pans out. But, these guys work so hard. I know Bill's our county commissioner, but then you think about the folks that work for the city. You know that they're behind the scenes already preparing and trying to figure out what are we going to do. Or they already know what they're going to do, but they're putting the pieces in play of if roads deteriorate, here's what we're going to do. And so I wanted to give a shout out, and especially this morning too. I got home last night, and I didn't catch the full story, but there was a horrible incident in Navasota yesterday. A police officer there was killed tragically, along with a wrong way driver who was trying to cash a fake check, and so we just wanted to pour our hearts out this morning to those friends in Navasota that are having to undergo that. And I think there was even another incident, somewhere yesterday as well. There was a couple of news conferences. I didn't catch both of them, but Jason, these folks are putting themselves on the line every single day. They've got children. They wake up, they kiss their wives goodbye, they hug their children, and they know that, we're going out to serve our community, but you never know what's going to happen. And
right.
I just wanted to just say we were thinking of those folks this morning.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. They do provide a unselfish service to our community, no doubt.
Yeah. So, and I think like I said, I think that there was two separate incidents. This was happening yesterday with this officer, and then in Brazoria County, there was a deputy that was killed in the line of duty. This man had been serving for 17 years and was a deputy there. Vargas was his last name, and he leaves behind a wife and 3 children. Very tough there for him. There was somebody that was in a dumpster that was hiding and had put trash over them as they were trying to escape from these folks. And they had the canine. They also, I believe, had to they star-flighted the dog. The canine got shot. And they treat those dogs as they just like family. They'll have a thing. But even more tragic though was this deputy lost his life in service yesterday. So, I mean, just 2 different incidents here happening, just bang, bang, and
sad.
It's tough. So just keep those folks in your prayers. Even though we're here in Huntsville, it feels like family, especially someone as close as Navasota.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, hey, let's take a quick break. Kyle Kreiner had apparently sent me some sort of heavy metal Christian music, and he wants me to let you hear it. Yeah, he goes, did you show him the heavy metal Christian music? I haven't listened to it yet, Kyle. I need to go look at it. So maybe I'll do that during the break. But thank you, Kyle, for chiming in. We'll take a quick break, and we'll be back in a moment. Do want to remind you, as always, our show every single Thursday is brought to you by First Baptist. Appreciate the generous support of First Baptist, and I'm not just saying it because I'm on staff here, but getting to see firsthand the work that God is doing through this church and our community. I'm just so thankful to be here, Jason. And I wanted to mention this too. I'm so thankful for other ministry partners that we get to work with. There's so many great folks here in this community and great churches. And I've really developed a good friendship with Jeff Powers over at Christ the King Methodist Church. Yeah. He's in Rotary with us now. And I told him yesterday, I said, when we had that National Day of Prayer, I just thanked him again. I said, you guys had really stepped up and helped us and other churches as well, but Jeff really did. And he said, I want to be more involved. And he shares our vision. He said, I would love for everybody to come together. And, we work on that every day, and we're all in it together.
Right.
So just wanted to give him a special shout out this morning and everybody that's just really working together to share the good news and what God is doing here throughout our community. We'll take a break. Keyword is, I'll get to it in a minute. I got to go count my Cafe Texan gift cards. I don't know if I have enough. Michelle brought some. Maybe we can give away what she brought. No, I'm just kidding. We will take a break, though. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. More to come. It is your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville again here on this very thankful Thursday. We'll be right back after this. Stay with us, please.
Hey friends, Rob Hipp, Media and Community Outreach Minister here at First Baptist Church, Huntsville. Let me ask you, when's the last time you felt real hope? Maybe it's been a while since you've been to church, or maybe you've never felt connected to a church at all. Well, friends, that's okay. Here at First Baptist, we're a harbor of hope, and we welcome everyone just as they are. We have programs throughout the week for all ages to come together, ask questions, grow in faith, and find the hope that only Jesus Christ can bring. Whether you're looking for a fresh start or a community to call home, we'd love for you to join us. Come experience something real. For more information, visit fbchuntsville.org. First Baptist Church Huntsville, a harbor of hope.
This harbor of hope, we are safe inside.
Hi, I'm Billy Cawthon, manager of Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. We know times of loss are tough, and you need a place to feel comfortable and cared for. At Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, we pride ourselves on being with you during those really tough days. You can rest assured that we will be on your side and by your side every step of the way. Thank you for your trust. Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home, supporting families every day, every step.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas.
Hey, I'm Denise Olivas, Business Account Specialist at Walker County Federal Credit Union, and our business is helping you take care of your business. In addition to personal accounts, Walker County Federal Credit Union also offers business accounts and business lending for commercial customers. We're devoted to taking care of the needs of our individual members and helping our business members with their financial success too. Call us today and find out how easy it is to work with Walker County Federal Credit Union. Member NCUA.
Illuminate your child's future at Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools in Huntsville. Established in 1997 by Kay Boning, our award-winning center merges Christian values with 25 years of Montessori excellence, promoting wonder and discovery in every child. As the only Montessori school within 45 miles, we provide a fun and friendly environment, individualized Montessori methods, and love and care as if each child were our own. Safety is a priority, and with a recent $50,000 investment, our facilities inspire growth, creativity, and learning. Plus, as a nonprofit, we open Montessori doors to families of all economic backgrounds. Partner with the community pillar where every child's promise shines bright. Discover Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools today. Visit tpms.life. That's tpms.life. This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
This is Kay Boning with Tomorrow's Promise Montessori Schools, and you're listening to Spirit Radio.
Support for SpiritRadio.fm comes from loyal listeners just like you. Want to help spread the good news across Huntsville and beyond? Underwriting opportunities are available for loyal listeners, businesses, and nonprofits. Visit SpiritRadio.fm and tap Donate today.
All right, back at it here. We had to do a little, roll out the red carpet over here.
That's right. Dignitary is with us. Straight from the big city of Austin.
From Austin, Texas, everyone. Austin, Texas. It is none other than whoosh. Michelle, what's up?
Good morning.
Man, I feel like I should have dressed up now. Yeah,
look at me.
Yeah, Jason. I mean, goodness gracious, man! Straight from the Gov's office, down here.
Yeah.
Michelle, what's up? Welcome in.
Thank you for having me again.
Thank you for
it was
showing
a surprise.
up.
I didn't tell you that I was coming.
No.
Just kind of showed up.
Yeah, kind of like I used to do when you interned for me. No, I'm just kidding. She really did. If anyone from the Gov's office is watching. Did I say watching?
Yeah, you did.
Watching. She was always here, and if something did come up, she gave me plenty of notice. So I just wanted to clear the air because, people scour the internet. They want to find out all they can.
Yeah.
But, Michelle, what's up? It's good to see you. Welcome in.
Good to see you, too.
How's your time been in Austin?
It's been a whole bunch of different emotions, honestly. I was interning for the speaker's office, and obviously we had elections this term. Unfortunately, Dade Phelan decided he no longer wanted to be speaker, so obviously that comes with staff changes. So I was kind of,
did you get to work with them a little bit?
Not at all.
Not at all.
I didn't get to meet him or anything.
Which was why originally you went down there. You were going to work in that office.
Right. So that was going to be my original office. And, things happen. And I was actually telling Mr. Hip this, but something that I will always remember is he told me, sometimes what we want is not what God wants for us. And so I remember feeling a little defeated, when I just didn't know if I was going to have a job with the speaker anymore, very high office,
right.
So
high roller, OG type stuff.
OG type
okay.
Definitely.
And so, I spent a whole week just at home in Austin. You don't know anyone. You're alone in an apartment. You don't know the city much. And then I got a call saying that the governor's office wanted to interview me. And it was a day's notice. I had maybe less than 20 hours to prepare for the interview, which was a little scary. But everything went great, and I got confirmation yesterday that I will be working for Governor Abbott.
Congratulations.
So, thank you.
All right.
Wow, that is so cool.
I'm very excited. So just saying, sometimes God, has better plans for us. So just trust the process.
Absolutely.
I've always said what can be seen as a setback is a setup for something greater.
Right.
And that's a perfect example of that. You go in to this opportunity thinking, which was already a huge deal, getting to intern for the Speaker of the House in the state, but then the setback was, hey, there's some changes, this one isn't going to work out, and then the setup is you go to work for the governor's office now. So pretty cool stuff, Michelle.
This reminds me of a little story that I always tell the kids whenever I went to A&M. I wanted to go into vet medicine. That was what I really wanted to go into. And my family wasn't wealthy, and I was the first son to go to college, to go off. My sister went to Sam, but we lived here in the community, so it wasn't like, so I was going over there, and so I had to get a job. And so I tried anything and and I didn't have a lot of experience. I worked here in Huntsville when I was in high school for the city and just some odd jobs and stuff like that. So I went everywhere looking for a job. And I got a job. The only job I could get was working at Academy. And I was working in the shoe department. And but my dad always taught me that no matter what you're doing, do it, as the scripture says, as unto the Lord. Do it the best you can do with whatever it is. Whatever you're doing, do it the best you can do. And so I did. I really worked hard at that. And my supervisor, he would always, take note of, wasn't late, showed up on time, worked extra hours, when I needed to. And turns out, he brought me into his office one day and he said, "Hey, Jason," he said, "I know that you're wanting to go into vet medicine." He said, "And you're a tremendous employee." He said, "My dad works over at the large animal vet clinic at A&M. and he said, "There's an opening over there, and I'd love to recommend you for that job."
That's cool.
And so one job led to the next, and one doing something in one place that I thought, well, I don't know why I'm here, open up the door for that. I think of you, you come here to our church, you work with Rob, we get to meet you and see your heart for the work that you do and the effort that you put in, and then God opens the next door and the next door and the next door, and it just shows you, I think, that a lot of times we see what's right in front of our face and we think, well, is this all there is? Right. And then the next thing you know, God has opportunities for you, and you're a living proof of that.
Yes, I am.
That's awesome. I'm so excited for you.
So what was the interview like, at the governor's? Now we were talking, you haven't met the governor yet.
Not yet.
And we probably shouldn't divulge too much information,
right.
Security stuff. But some really, cool opportunities, working for the governor. You haven't met him yet, but there may be some opportunities to meet him, I'm assume, down the road, right?
Yes. I get to meet really cool people, and I will update y'all as we go. Send you cool pictures.
So you're living there full time in Austin now?
Yes. So I'll be living there until June, until session ends.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. And this is part of your internship program. Tell us a little bit about how this opened up.
Yeah, so every legislative session, Sam Houston has an internship program. It's called SHAPE, stands for Sam Houston Austin Internship Program. And so TSIS, which is the Texas State University System, graciously supports it. And you go through multiple rounds of interviews. First, there's a base layer of just a GPA requirement and sort of a resume requirement. Then you go through a panel interview at Sam Houston. It can be deans. It can be, professors. They do an interview. If you get selected, they rank you. So they only select from 7 to 10 interns. About maybe 40 people apply. So got to be on your game. And then after that, you take a trip to Austin that is not guaranteed placement. You then interview with the offices. So I had about 5 interviews in one day.
And which office? Is it just different state legislature offices?
So you do have to say whether you're a Republican or a Democrat. That depends on what offices you interview for. But usually the representatives, have a very good idea of what the Sam Houston interns do, and they usually want interns. So they will obviously contact Professor Yan beforehand, so he has a list of who needs an intern. And then you kind of go, interview, and then you rank them, and they rank you. Then you kind of just match and see.
That's how our internship worked with Melissa. It was pretty cool.
That's cool.
And so that's how that sort of works, but they're great. The entire university is very supportive. We work with the financing department, just sort of the scholarship area. They will provide, scholarships for us to live in Austin full time because, it is pretty expensive, and we're still full-time students. So that is a requirement. We still have to go to school, even if it's online. So it's a little difficult, but it's definitely worth it, in my opinion.
So I know Rob already knows this, but a lot of the people that are watching probably don't. But what is your degree plan at the university?
Yes, so I am a major in criminal justice with a minor in political science and Spanish.
Oh, wow, cool, awesome.
What are you hoping to take away from this internship, that you want to learn and then apply it somewhere else? What are you looking forward to?
Yeah, honestly, I'm just like Pastor Bay said, I'm just willing to learn. So when I started at Hello Huntsville, a lot of people thought I was a communications major. So they used to question, like, why are you there, But it's sort of that thing that you take it and you learn as much as you can from it. So with this particular internship, it does apply a lot to law, which is what I want to do in the future. But moving to Huntsville, I have really developed a heart for service. And so I have been looking at public service, maybe an MPA or a dual program for a law degree and public administration. And so just dealing with people, helping them with their issues, saying how laws are made, that's what I'll be dealing with. Just knowing the process itself will help me dissect it later, when I want to prosecute someone or, whatever it may be that I do.
Wow, that is amazing. We're so blessed to have you, get to know you and see what God's doing in your life.
I'm here like getting goosebumps listening to what she's talking. Like, man, this is great.
Well, I love meeting young people that have, ambition and dreams and hopes and are seeking to see those things fulfilled. So I'm so thankful that God brought you into our lives, and we got the chance to meet you and see what God's doing, and just to hear what an impact you're going to make and currently are making.
Michelle, I know that there's a very long road path to get to where you're at, but maybe in a Cliff's Notes version, if there's another young person or someone about to enter college, what advice would you give them, and kind of what were the steps? I know you mentioned some of it earlier, but maybe kind of Cliff Note that for us from here's where I started and here's how I got here, and kind of tie that in. I know that's a long story, but give us a short version of it.
So first of all, first thing before anything, God will provide.
Amen.
That's my biggest thing.
That's good, Michelle.
I obviously did not grow up from a wealthy family, first generation immigrant parents.
From Honduras,
from
right?
Honduras. Yeah. So I had no idea what I was doing. No one had ever gone to college in my family. So just starting with applications, it was sort of I'm going to go regardless of my financial situation. I'm more than that financial situation. Mm-hmm. So applied all over the state, got into a good amount of schools with, thankfully, scholarship opportunities. I was in a tough, I didn't want to go to UH just because I felt like that was a little too close to home, but I didn't want to do, like Texas Tech, that was a little too far from home. So I was stuck between Sam Houston, A&M, decided to go for Sam Houston just because of their criminal justice program, and that's what I want to do. And so I just kind of went for it. Honestly, I just go for it and then leave it in God's hands, and He'll do the work. I came in as a freshman, no clue what I was doing, pretty good grades in high school, graduated summa cum laude, so that was great. It was tough at the beginning. You get a little homesick, but just go to class, and people, God will put people in your path. I always say treat everyone kindly. You never know who's going to make an impact in your life. So Professor Yan started off as just my Texas government professor.
So that's how the relation, that's what I was going to ask you.
I would just show up to his Texas government class and, pay attention, do well on his quizzes, and then he sort of just noticed me. I want to say it's the grace of God, because that's what I really truly believe, but he just kind of noticed me and started inviting me to different things, and I just said yes to everything. So if he would tell me, hey, you want to wake up at 5 a.m. and go help the Lions Club put up flags? Yes. You want to go to Scare on the Square? Yes. It was just yes to everything, and so that's just how it all started, and it's been a gift. I've just done everything he says, just say yes. That's what I've learned. If someone gives you an opportunity, go for it.
Yeah, I love that attitude. I really do. That is so impressive coming from your generation of people, and just someone that really is striving to do whatever it is that God opens. And I love the openness that you have too, because I think sometimes we get those blinders on, like we talked about in our previous series. We have everything planned out, but you're open to say, hey, this is what I think that I want to do, but hey, whatever lies before, just there's opportunities wherever the opportunity provides. I'm willing to walk through. Right. So that's quite remarkable, and I'm so thankful to get to be a part of your journey, just to hear what's going on, because it's pretty cool the things that. Now, what are you classified as at Sam now?
I'm currently a junior.
Okay.
Yes.
And so you'll come back after this internship, and you get credit hours for this?
Yes, so I get credit hours for the internship, only partial though, and I still have my other classes, but really long year ahead of me. I have my LSAT this summer, so that'll be my, for those of you that don't know, the LSAT is the law SAT,
right?
To get into law school, so that is coming up, and then applications for law school are coming up, so busy summer, but yes, the semester ends and we still have to stay in Austin afterwards till session ends.
Is there a law school that you're looking at, or?
There's really great ones. There's South Texas. Obviously, there's UH Law. A&M has a great law school. Texas Tech is probably one of my favorite. They have a really beautiful law school. So definitely trying to stay in Texas, but whatever happens, happens.
Yeah. Just say yes.
Yeah. Whatever happens, happens.
That's really good.
Well, go ahead, Jason.
I was just going to say, my daughter, she's graduating a senior this year, and she's pursuing the pre-law at A&M, and she's thinking about going to law school. That's why I was curious about what law schools. I don't know anything about that area. That's not my expertise. So I was just curious about, your path and what brought you to that and what you're looking at in the future. So it's good to know.
Well, a couple of big things coming up too. Not only, of course, Michelle Cardenas here with us, and she's letting us know about her journey, but working for the governor's office now as an intern. But Monday, pretty big thing going on here, and I'm not talking about potential for snow in little old Huntsville, Texas. I'm talking about something happening big time, bigly on the bigly on the East Coast. Yeah. What's going to be happening here coming up this weekend? It starts.
Yeah, our presidential inauguration. Very excited.
Can you let us know a little bit about kind of what you guys are doing? You'll be there.
I will be there.
Yeah, that's the exciting part.
Yes, that is the exciting part. So like I said, Sam Houston has really presented me with so many great opportunities, including one to travel. I had never been on a plane before my freshman year, and now I've lost count of how many times I've been on a plane. So we have the opportunity to go to D.C. and watch the presidential inauguration. Professor Yan always believes that it doesn't matter what party, it's just a part of our democracy, and it is just great to be able to witness that and be able to say, I've been to a presidential inauguration. Not a lot of people can say that. And so opportunity came up, and we jumped in. It's months of planning. Poor Professor Yan just plans everything. But months of planning. The gates open at 5 a.m., so we'll be there by 4. We have to go through lots of security. To get through, the inauguration will take place around 11 or noon. So we're just going to be there all day, but very excited.
That is very amazing. Excited. That is so cool. Yeah. I mean, what an experience that you'll get the opportunity to have, and the memories that you'll make. I mean, I've never been to a presidential inauguration. So.
I asked Michelle, I said, I know you're going to be busy, so I don't want to take away from anything. But I said, you guys will just be standing there, right? She goes, yeah, there's not a lot you can do until. So I said, well, maybe, because I'm going to have a show that Monday morning. And I said, maybe.
That'd be cool.
Maybe we can WhatsApp you in and get you on.
That would be awesome. And so, but there's like parades and stuff that go on.
Yeah, so there's I'm not really sure how the whole thing works. All we know is we need to get there early to get some pretty good spots, because there'll be a lot of people. And the way tickets work is lottery based. So you have to sort of work with your congressman and kind of put in like your names, and then they'll do like a lottery system. And so some people get to be, in like where the inauguration's happening. Some people are like put in a room with like a huge TV, a huge screen, somewhere in the mall, stuff like that. But we're just excited. We just need to be there. That's all we really know right now. We don't know what's going on, but yeah.
What's the weather supposed to be like that day?
About 10 degrees.
10 degrees.
10 to 12 degrees.
The next polar vortex is moving through.
So yeah.
No snow though, right? Clear.
I don't think there will be snow, but we don't know.
Okay.
Pack warm.
Oh yeah. And, as a Texan, I don't think anyone really has proper winter.
Yeah, right.
Winter clothes. So
even a coat. I mean, our coats are not. Get what you need to get to stay warm, because.
All that we have found out here now, abnormally cold weather forecast for Trump's inauguration. Abnormally cold. Wind chill factors at noon will be about 12 degrees. How about the breeze? Sustained 20 to 30 miles per hour at times. Boy, I can't wait. His hair's going to be just whisking in the wind during this inauguration.
Maybe he'll wear the MAGA cap.
Yeah, that'd be awesome. So, well, great. Well, Michelle, I'm so excited for you, and most important, I'm just excited what God's been doing in your life. When I first met you and we interviewed, I knew that you were going to be a great fit, the right fit for what I was trying to accomplish. And here's the funny part, Jason. I had no idea what I was trying to accomplish. I just wanted somebody to come help, and I had a few things that I needed done. And then Michelle was so graceful to work with me, and I said, hey, I know that we said we're going to do this, and this, but I've really got this. The church wasn't even on the docket for this, and I asked Michelle. I said, "Hey, in the middle of her coming on, that's when I got hired on here." And I said, "Well, look, how would you like to also help me a little bit up at the church?" And she said, "Absolutely." And so you've just been so flexible. Again, saying yes, right?
That's right.
Yes.
So,
no, yeah, and thank you for the opportunity. I mean, you think you're going to do one thing, and a lot of people would think, oh, she's doing law, so she would go, intern for Mr. Durham or something like that. But internships like these, I mean, I don't feel nervous at all when I walk into interviews anymore.
That's
if you would have
great.
told me maybe before I started working with Mr. Hip, I would have been terrified.
Yeah,
so just talking to
great.
people, just the skills that you get just in this internship that I had in the past year was amazing, and I will forever be grateful.
Thank you. It was all you. One of the things that I enjoyed the most with Michelle, she speaks Spanish fluently, and there's a lot of new construction going on here in the community, and a lot of folks, don't speak English, or they may speak a little bit, and it's hard for me to communicate, and I needed Michelle's expertise, and she is such a good communicator that I said, hey, go over and talk to these guys. Well, she's like, what, you want me to go just walk up? I said, yeah, just go walk up, because I wanted to find out what was being built. So she would just go, and sometimes on her own even, would go and walk up and just talk to people. And I know she was terrified at first, but I said, I'm never going to force you to do something you don't want to, but I'm going to encourage you to do this because it'll help you. And so thank you for doing that.
Absolutely.
Well, there she is, Michelle Cardenas. We'll be checking in with her and excited about what God is doing in your life, Michelle. So good stuff. All right, well, let's take a break. Michelle also brought us something. What did you bring over there? Some
kolaches and donuts.
Oh, there you go. Perfect. All right, I will start the diet next week. Every day I say I'll start the diet the next day. So, well, hey, we'll take a break. Normally we give away stuff on the show. I'll be honest, we're kind of out of things right now, and I've got to reset and recharge, so we're not really going to be giving anything away today. I do have some more Cafe Texan gift cards, but I want to kind of hold a few of those so we can go through the month. And I do have some other things that I am working on. So right now we don't have anything today to give away. But if you still want to text in on that 0 Degree Creations phone and text line, you can still enter in today. There just won't be a prize, but you'll have another entry because we will have a gift tomorrow. And so make sure you text in today. That number and the keyword this week is new. You can still text that in on the 0 Degree Creations phone and text line at 936-339-0139. We'll step aside. We'll take a break. Coming up, news you can use. And also wanted to mention our new streaming provider here, helping us to make this live stream possible, is our friends at Huntsville Memorial Hospital. So that next segment will be brought to you by Huntsville Memorial Hospital. We'll take a break. We'll be back in a moment. Stay with us. More to come. It's your show. This is Good Morning Huntsville here on a Thankful Thursday, brought to you by First Baptist.
Huntsville Executive Office Suites. Elevate your business image with prestigious move-in ready suites ranging from 150 to 3,000 square feet. Enjoy conference and training rooms, furnished and unfurnished options, custom build-outs, phone service, and a welcoming lobby. Coffee bar and dining area included for tenants. Benefit from 24/7 secure access and flexible lease terms. Located on Lake Road. Move-in begins in January. Contact Raven Property Management at 936-225-4378.
This is Guardian Defense in Huntsville, Texas, a trusted family-owned and operated gun store and range in the heart of East Texas. Guardian Defense is your one-stop destination for Texas LTC, NRA basic pistol and rifle courses, pistol refresher training, as well as a wide selection of quality firearms and ammunition. At Guardian Defense, empowerment is within reach through their Texas DPS-approved license to carry classes. Certified instructors will guide you through every facet of firearm safety, conflict resolution, and the pertinent legal aspects. Book now to become proficient and responsible in handling a firearm with complete confidence. For the eager learners, the fundamentals of pistol and rifle usage await discovery in their comprehensive 8-hour NRA basic courses. You're invited to connect with Guardian Defense on Facebook and Instagram, or give them a call at 936-293-0364. You can also visit them online at guardiandefensellc.com. Guardian Defense, your reliable partner in mastering firearm safety and acquiring quality firearms in the heart of Texas. The Oak Ridge Disciple House is a faith-based 501c3 nonprofit Christian character building ministry helping men 18 and older who are suffering from drug and alcohol addictions. If you or someone you know needs help, there is light at the end of the tunnel, and that light can be found through the Oak Ridge Disciple House. For more information, visit oakridgedisciplehouse.com. This is KHSP LP, Huntsville, Texas, the spirit of Huntsville.
Spirit of Huntsville, Huntsville, Spirit 94.3.
right, back at it here, the WWE Arena.
Yeah.
It's standing at, what's your height, Jason?
6'2".
Standing at 6'2", 180 pounds of
180.
Clean cut beef.
Maybe when I was a freshman.
In the America Trunks, it's Jason Baby.
All right, Rob, it's so good to be here to bring us some news that we could all use or lose depending on how you see it. The first thing I always like to start with the sports page, and you probably heard the news about our beloved Cowboys this past week. Yes, we lost another coach. Jerry Jones refuses to re-sign Mike McCarthy, and now he has went to, as of yesterday, interviewed for the Chicago Bears job. So he's waiting to hear back whether or not he will have that job or not. But so that leaves a empty spot there.
I thought he was interviewing for like the Huntsville ISD strength and conditioning coach. He didn't get that one, did he?
No. But going to the Cowboys, so who do you think? There's a lot of speculation around who the new coach will be. I was just curious your thoughts, Rob, on who you thought would be a good fit and who you think they will eventually hire. There's some candidates out there. One of them has been mentioned is Deion Sanders.
Oh, that would be pretty cool, actually.
He called Deion Sanders.
He has connections to the team.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
And so the first call that he made was to Deion Sanders, so there's one candidate. He called Jason Witten.
Nah, I don't see coach material.
And Jason Witten is currently coaching a high school football, his son's high school football team. Never had any coaching experience on the NFL or collegiate level, so some people thought that was unusual.
Yeah, I would think Jason Witten, an outstanding human being. He would be great as a motivational type guy, a leadership, an assistant coach. I don't see him as a head coach, though.
So then another one that was mentioned was Kellen Moore, the current offensive coordinator for the Eagles. He was the former offensive coordinator for the Cowboys for many years under Mike McCarthy until he was fired, and then he went to work with the Eagles now. So Kellen Moore is high on the list. They're saying. Then you have ex-coaches that are out of the game that maybe brought back, which would be Gruden. And what was the old Seahawks coach name?
He was from USC, that dude?
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't I know exactly who you're talking about, but I can't.
Him. So which of those do you like?
None.
Or is there one that you think of?
You were thinking of Pete Carroll. I just Googled it. Yeah.
There you go.
Out of all of them, Deion, just because of the show business aspect of it, that's what Jerry's looking for.
Yeah.
That's what Jerry Jones does not care about winning. He cares about the ratings and that's why Dallas is, the most valued franchise. You know who I would bring in?
Who?
God, I know there's some horrible things. I don't want to make light of what happened at that university. Horrible things, but they have cleared his name. Their coaches don't know every single thing that goes on. They're naming a stadium after this guy, finally getting that recognition that he so rightfully deserves in Stephenville. Man, bring Art Briles out of retirement. Bring him to Dallas. He's 69 years old. He's got a lot of energy left in the tank. And let's get this thing rolling. Yeah. I would love to see Art Briles as the football coach for the Dallas Cowboys.
Yeah, that would be something.
I would go bananas. Their offense would just be dynamite.
Yeah, the problem with it in Dallas, as everybody knows, is that the coaches have so little authority. Especially, that's why I think. I mean, I know this is kind of out of the box, but I do think like bringing in a Deion would the star wouldn't be on Jerry. I mean, think about the press conferences now. Think about if they brought Kellen Moore. You know who Kellen Moore is. He's kind of a soft-spoken guy. He's kind of the person that I would most likely think that Jerry would sign because he's somebody that he could easily control. You try controlling Deion. I mean, that's not as easily said and done. I mean, he has a lot of. He doesn't need the limelight. He doesn't need the star. He's already the star.
I think there could be a personality clash there between him and Jerry.
Oh, I do. I don't think that he would hire him. I do think he's done a remarkable job at Colorado, bringing that program from nothing to something.
Yeah.
I do think that if Deion came in, that there would probably be more changes that would take place. I think that he'd probably be really interested in getting rid of Dak and probably bringing in his son, Shadur. They talked about that.
Probably getting Romo back. I would be all about that. Yeah.
But I don't know. It's going to be interesting to see. There's no timetable on when they will sign somebody, but I know that you and I, being Dallas Cowboys fans, that's always something to keep an eye on.
The one thing, and I was looking this up, and I remember this, and I found the article, but Jerry Jones vouched for Art Briles back in 2016 when all this was going on. In fact, Art Briles was at the Dallas Cowboys training camp. He was there. So he and Jerry already have a relationship. How cool would it be if this is one that may be flying under the radar that nobody's talking about?
Oh, man.
Because I just Googled it, and there's nobody out there that I see that's suggesting this.
Yeah.
I think it would be a great fit. Art Briles is the state of Texas. He is. When you think of high school football, you think of two people. You think of Dave Campbell because of Dave Campbell Texas football, and you think of Art Briles. And if you don't, then you're from a whole different generation, and that's cool. But that's the two names that are synonymous with high school football are those two guys. Get Art Briles there up in Dallas coaching the Cowboys and watch this program go nuts. I would be excited about it.
I think it would too. I think the problem would be, though, that, like I said, I mean, he would demand authority, and I don't think Jerry would do that.
Well, if there was one person that could put him in his place, Art Briles would probably put
well, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's why he wouldn't do it. That's why he wouldn't be there.
But no, I like that, though. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see.
You know what my goal is one day, Jason?
What's that?
Take you to a Dallas Cowboys football game.
I would love to go, man.
That's my goal.
Yeah, okay.
Every pastor, people always want to bless their pastors in some way, and that's the one way. I said, Lord, grant me the privilege to take Jason to a Dallas Cowboys football game.
I'd love to see it.
But if we go, we're going to have to take Rodney with us. You already know. Rodney's got to roll with us.
Yeah, and Jim,
yes. Those two guys got to go. And your sons, are they Cowboys fans?
Yeah, they are.
All right. We'll have to do paper, rock, scissors on one of them. It starts getting expensive.
That's right. So speaking of football, with the playoffs, we talked about this a little bit last week and all that's going on. So one of the coaches that's probably has the most attention on him above all the other coaches is Dan Campbell. And I don't know if you've noticed what he's done to the Detroit Lions, but how he's brought this program from relative obscurity, or maybe not even relative, just obscurity, to the now really the favorite going into the playoffs to make it to the Super Bowl. But there's an article that was written in The Athletic about him, and they interviewed him and interviewed some of the people that have been around him and just his coaching style and the way that he is so motivational and how much passion he puts into everything that he does. And in fact, whenever they brought him in, he was at first the laughing stock of the NFL because they were all pointing at him. It says in the article, it says they mocked him in the beginning, convinced he was going to end up just like the rest, run out of town within a few years because nothing had changed. Nothing ever changed in Detroit. Then they ripped him during the climb for being too honest, for being too out there, for having the nerve to think that some sort of miraculous turnaround was coming. Even as losses piled up and critics piled on and the Lions stayed the same old Lions, Campbell believed. And I think that's something really neat. You know, Dan Campbell was an Aggie, and he was also a Dallas Cowboy.
Yeah, Super Bowl champion too. Was it did he play with the Saints or who was that? Or was that Indianapolis? I can't remember.
I don't remember.
But one of them, he won that Super Bowl.
Yeah. But he's the old school coach. He reminds me of the Art Briles kind of guy, kind of fiery, and I think that really is still because a lot of people have said, well, in this modern NFL, you need kind of a player's coach, and Dan Campbell gets along with the players, but he's also a man of accountability. He really demands accountability. I've been rooting for him ever since he took the job up there, and he's done a remarkable job. And I tell you what, he's made a lot of Detroit fans throughout the nation, because you see people all over wearing Detroit gear now. Some of them may have used to wear Cowboys gear.
Tim Allen is happy from Home Improvement, Those poor Detroit Lions. But he's turned that it was the Saints. I was thinking he won that Super Bowl in 2009 with the Saints when he played there.
I don't know if you watched the game of any of the games last weekend, but there was kind of a controversy after the Eagles and Green Bay played because a video went viral. Did you see this video? Okay, well, one of the Philadelphia fans was saying some very inappropriate things to a Green Bay fan that was a woman that was sitting in front of him in the robe in front of him. And he was cussing at her and saying this, and the husband just took his phone and he just turned back, and he didn't say anything on the video. Now, I don't know what happened before this, as we, all we see is what we see. But he videoed the man that was saying this stuff to his wife, who they were dressed in the Green Bay stuff in Philadelphia, which you can imagine what that's like. But he was hurling insults at them anyway. With today's modern technology and these people that are saying these things that think, oh, I'm just going to cuss this lady out or say whatever I want to her. These things come back to bite them because they found out who this guy was, because the video went viral. They found out who this guy was. They blasted his name all over social media, and the guy ended up losing his job and being permanently banned from any Eagles games going forward.
Wow.
So, I mean, that was pretty interesting to note that social media has a whole new way of keeping people accountable for what they say.
43 seconds. And he's done. And you know what? We live in that world, and in a way, I'm glad that there is that accountability of technology because some people, you can't just go on and be like this all the time. And that's why I'm saying I don't enjoy going to live sporting events anymore, because this is the kind of stuff that happens.
I know it.
It happens not only at the professional level, it happens at the collegiate level, and my goodness, it's even happening at the high school level.
Yeah. Well, I will say. Me and my wife, we've had season tickets. We aren't very extravagant on anything that we have, but we do have some nosebleed seats for the Aggie games that we go to. And her and I both, I graduated in 98. She graduated in like 2004 or something like that. And back then, there was no alcohol allowed on the college campus. There was no alcohol allowed at tailgating events, or even you couldn't buy it in the stadium. Well, now there's alcohol all around the stadium prior to the event, and then it's accessible. Obviously, they sell it in the stadium now. Well, I really have noticed a complete difference in the tone of the games, when other fans are there, or just when the Aggie fans are there. I mean, every week we go in there and they're having to cart somebody out of there that is can't stand up, and it is sad the way that sporting events in general have changed so drastically. It's that herd mentality, and you get in that arena and you think you can say anything, and this guy found out that there is accountability. And
there better be. Yeah. I'm glad for that.
Yeah, I know it. I don't know the whole story, but that's just a Cliff Notes version. All right, kind of a list I wanted to bring to you today just for your comments on some of these things. All right, here's an article.
A good list?
Well, 21 things that used to be good until people ruined them. Some of them you maybe agree with and maybe not. The first one was subscription everything, especially software.
Yeah.
I want to buy Office one time and use it for a decade. I don't want to buy it every year.
Yeah, it's the same with Photoshop and all those programs, 100%.
Everything is subscription.
You get subscription socks now, subscription clothes,
Everything.
Stitch Fix.
Yeah, no kidding.
You know?
Sign up. Don't get me started.
They have subscription Bibles yet? I'm surprised that like companies haven't. I'm sure there is. I'm sure there are different things.
Man, there is subscription Bible software and all kind of. We talked about it here at the church. Just like sermon helps or.
We've just invested in one of them. We're sitting here talking, and there was one program that was cool that helps us with videos and stuff. We did. We've fallen into the trap.
Yeah, well, everything is that way now. I agree. All right, that's another one. Craft fairs. Now they're crowded with dozens of multi-level marketing organizations. I don't know if I haven't experienced
Avon.
that.
They probably have Avon. So growing up in Central Texas, there was this center in Belton. I forget, they call the Expo Center, all right? And there was these shows called a Sammy Show. Have you ever heard of these?
No.
It's a Sammy Show. It's a big deal in that area.
Yeah.
And it'd come on TV, and it was always this mesmerizing voice. This lady had a really good, like, mesmerizing, kind of older voice, and this weekend at the Expo Center. Now, she didn't sound like that, obviously, but this weekend at the Bell County Expo Center, it's another Sammy Show. And it would be like, da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And it would just be all these little craft fairs. I didn't care anything for it, but because of that commercial, I always wanted to go, and I never went to a Sammy Show.
Oh, man, that's too bad.
Could have missed out on some Avon products.
What about multi-level marketing organizations? You ever been a part of one
Yes,
of those?
yes. And you know what's worse? And thank goodness we don't have it at our church. My old church, it seemed like every single person was involved in one. And it was funny because somebody, people get bitter and it's whatever. And somebody had posted a comment, that's the church that Advocare built. Because the pastor didn't have any money coming in. I mean, they moved there on faith. Yeah. And so a guy had turned him on to Advocare. They were selling Advocare, to get by. Which Advocare is a good product. I don't have anything against it. But, yeah, man, I started getting hit. I got into one called Solave, which was really cool. It was a cell phone company. Mm-hmm. And it was cool because MLM cell phone company was actually a good idea because if you got people, then your bill was paid for and you could start making money. I got to a point, it wasn't much. I was making like $100 a month, though, because I'd referred a bunch of people. They fell under. Yeah. Got into another one. It was some coffee bean company that I got into. Got tricked into that one. Got into another one called the Next Gen Patch. I got sucked into 3 of these things because, Michelle, that's one thing where you don't say yes to everything. When these people, and it's your friends, right? They're trying, and you don't want to tell them no, so you get sucked into them.
Yeah, my sister got into one, Arbonne.
Yeah, that's a big one.
I didn't know if that was even still around anymore. But this lady wrote on here, I just want to find knitted slippers made by an old lady, not Norwex.
Yeah, there you go. Not Arbonne.
All right. So there's a couple. So this is 21, we're not going to mention all 21, but these are things that used to be good until people ruined them. All right, here's another one. Visiting major historical sites. Most of them have been turned into badly maintained, super expensive tourist traps. Airbnbs. I used to love Airbnbs years ago. Now it's pricier than a lot of decent hotels, and some of the house rules are nutty.
And the hotels sign up for Airbnb now. Yeah, and it's annoying. I'm like, I went to Airbnb specifically to find a house, and now hotels are putting their rooms on Airbnb, and that is annoying.
Yeah, I will say, because of our large family, that we try to, when we go places, we try to get an Airbnb just so that we can all be in the same house, not have to rent multiple rooms. And the prices on those things they're so tricky because you sign up, you look at the price, you go through all this, you find the price that you want to pay, and then next thing you know, there's a $200 cleaning fee on there, and then there's another service charge on there, and before you know it, it's a lot more than you ever thought.
And then in y'all's case, a child surplus fee, that you got to pay.
For sure.
If I was in y'all's shoes, I'm going to start a new business called Tent B&B. You just get a big tent and you could stay in.
Hey, there was a company that did that. Remember that out at the state fair?
Glamping, they went under.
They had those little dome tents.
I walked in that and took pictures of it.
Yeah? Yeah. I thought about taking it, hey, this is the perfect opportunity. The kids are always talking about wanting to go camping, when the weather's good. I looked into that because we do that every year. We do that
expensive
annual thing where we drive through the state fair. Well, they never had it for rent, and I went and asked the guy, and he said, bankrupt. Well, yeah, the thing went bankrupt. All right, here's another thing that people that used to be good until people ruined
One
them.
second. There it is.
Yeah, that's it. That's it.
Look, hold on. Can I show this just real quick? I know I don't want to interrupt you,
No,
but
you're fine.
It just hit me. So we were out at the state park, and I was like, "What is it?" I was like, "What is that thing?" And I actually walked in it.
Yeah.
Look, there's your trash can. They never did rent them out, I don't think.
No, they didn't. They don't know what to do with them now.
Look, don't that look like a really comfortable toilet?
Yeah, I wouldn't use the toilet.
Look how close this is to the bed.
That's for they need a sign that for emergency use only.
Like, who would use that thing? Look at that. It's right there by the bed, Jason.
It doesn't have a bidet.
Yeah, exactly. I need the spray of that bidet day. All
right, some more. Flying drones. Thanks to all the idiots doing dumb things with them, it's not even worth getting into the hobby nowadays.
Can I tell you something? This was bad, and I can't get in trouble for it now because the statute of limitations has passed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I had a drone when they first came out. It was the old DJI, and I got that thing, and I loved it, but it was more of a hobby. I didn't really use it and you didn't have to have a license back then. And I did not think about how dangerous. Well, I lived by the local municipal airport.
Mm-hmm.
So, and, you know, I go back now and thank goodness it didn't happen. It's kind of a funny story, but it's actually very serious. There was one night I said, man, I wonder what it'd look like to fly this thing into the runway. And so all you see on the screen are the lights. And I'm like, I was sitting here like, drone landing. And I was like, a buddy was with me, and I'm sitting here like, tower, this is 2943, we're coming in for the landing. And all you see on the screen are the little runway lights. Now, it's funny now to go back but it is actually a very, very serious. And I didn't. But here's the deal: there was morons like me that didn't think about how serious that could have been. You know, this was years and years. And by the way, FAA, this was way before you had any rules, and I'm way past the statute of limitations.
Well, you make a good point though, because I didn't know if you heard about this, but out in California, they're dealing with all the wildfires. They had one of their planes
get hit by the drone.
Yeah. The plane hit the drone, and now the plane that could be used for helping put out fires is now out of service because they're having to repair.
Thank goodness that thing didn't crash. I mean, there is a very serious, and to my defense, I didn't think about that. No one, we didn't know about it. There was no laws on it. Now there are, and it's a very, very. I would never in a million years even think about doing that. Now it's young and dumb, but I would never think about that now.
Yeah. All right, just a couple more. These are things that used to be good, and now until people ruin them. So here's just a couple more. Another one is streaming services.
Yeah.
We used to just have Netflix, and you could watch whatever you wanted to with Netflix, and now every single service has their own streaming service. Now, I like the streaming services, but it is getting pretty ridiculous where you pretty much have to pay for every single thing. And not only that, you have to pay a subscription on top of that. We watch all of our TV through streaming now because we have the high-speed internet out where we live. And so we do YouTube TV, and so we pay for that subscription.
It's getting so expensive, though, man.
And it goes up. But then on top of that, you gotta have Netflix, or if the kids want Netflix, and you got Peacock, and then you got Paramount.
I'm paying $4.99 extra for Faith and Family. Come on, man.
There you go. All right, everything costs. All right, YouTube. People used to make content for fun. Now everything is optimized and monetized and scripted to death.
And AI-tized.
Yeah,
big
definitely.
time.
Everything. And that was one of them here that someone wrote about. Everything is AI. Is that AI used to be good? Now it's being used for everything. Writing children's books used to be an art form, and then
not anymore.
Every celebrity wrote one.
And so did AI. If you go to Amazon, there's thousands of AI-generated books now.
Social media in general. I really enjoyed Facebook when you had to use a college email address.
Man, think about this, though. TikTok ban goes into effect on Sunday. The TikTok U.S.-based company has decided they are going to keep people employed because there's already talk that's going to be overturned, the ban. So TikTok is going to go down on Sunday here in the United States. Think about the inauguration on Monday, though. You're not going to be able to download the app. But if you still have it, I think you're still going to have access for a little bit. But I just started thinking about that. The power that social media has now on everything, from the workforce to the economy and on the political spectrum, especially, there's going to be thousands and thousands of videos probably on TikTok and other social media platforms.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it is ridiculous. I mean, you watch some of these stuff and everything, it's like I said, everything that you watch is faked. You know, it's just faked. It's like they're doing something and they're filming their kid doing something, and you're just like, man, this is so staged. It's ridiculous. I mean, you have to be an idiot to believe that this stuff actually happens. All right, a couple of more. These are things that used to be good until people ruined them. Everything that has to do with true crime. Some years ago, it wasn't popular at all. Now you had to search for any documentary or website. Now there's extra TV channels, podcasts, magazines, and everyone is an expert when it comes to anything to do with true crime. And I mean, there is a lot out there. I mean, all you got to do is go to Discovery Plus if you have that streaming service, and everything is just true crime. And some of them are good. I like the investigative ones where you kind of, it's like the investigator is following the clues, and they looked into this and they looked into this and they solved the mystery. That's the kind that I like, not the real gruesome ones or the ones that are intentionally trying to take a story and sensationalize it to make it more scary than it really is by putting some background music in there, and they have these actors portraying this. You know, it's kind of sensationalized somebody's misfortune.
Those, I told Bridget, it's funny you mentioned this about Syria. I told Bridget last night, I said, please don't put it on any series. I just want to watch a good old movie.
Yeah.
Because that's something that used to be good that's now everything has to be a series. Everything.
Good luck with that.
So what do we find? One of my favorite movies. You can make fun of me or not, but I love the movie Age of Adeline. I love that movie. It's a really good movie about, did you ever see this?
Never seen it.
This lady gets in a car accident in the early 1900s. Her heart stops. But then at the exact 2 minutes after her heart stops, lightning strikes the car. It brings her back, and then, there's something that it says, and they wouldn't discover this until 2035, but it was some amino acid, and it caused her to stop aging. And so that's where this movie starts taking place, and it's actually a really good movie. It's a very famous actress, and the movie is really, I love those kind of movies. The actress that's in that, you probably recognize Blake Lively is in it.
Oh, okay.
And it's just an incredible movie. I'm sitting there looking. You're like, man, what are you doing watching these chick flicks or
Oh, I thought maybe Michael J. Fox was in it. It's taking us back to 1986 or something like that.
No, and I like some of these kind of movies. It's one of my favorite movies. I really, really like the movie because I love the science fiction behind it.
Yeah,
so she never ages.
Yeah.
And she has a daughter. Well, her husband in the movie, he dies at a young age, and they have a daughter. And so at one point in the movie, the daughter is actually older physically than the mom. And so it's a really cool movie.
Yeah,
it really is.
I'll have to check that out. I'm always in for a good movie.
Speaking of AI, you never know what's truthful or not. And I didn't want to stop you, but I did want to bring this in, Jason, because you mentioned it earlier. I'm sitting here the other day, and the coolest thing happened. Braylon, we're reading, and then all of a sudden, just out of nowhere, a unicorn hops in.
There you go.
And it was cool. It was the coolest thing ever. She got into a unicorn. Yeah. Somehow our door turned into grass outside, and she rode off into the sunset.
That is amazing. Yes.
Isn't that crazy how AI does that now?
That is unbelievable.
Man, that's a real video.
And finally, the house flipping trend has certainly not helped home affordability.
All of these are making me angry thinking about them.
There's a bunch of
Storage Wars. That doggone Storage Wars
that
ruined
was one
it.
of them.
Ruined it.
I skipped that one on here, but that was one of them. The idea of you used to could go and buy a storage unit and find out what was in it. These auctions, and now everybody is doing that, looking for.
I went to one. Have you ever been to one?
No, but I had a friend that owned a storage facility, and he was telling me about that from time to time they would have to do that.
By law, I think you have
to do it, and you have to have a third party come in. There's all different kind of laws that you have to do, and the auctioneer company has to do it, and all this. But he said 90% of the time there's nothing in those but just junk. Yeah. So tell us your experience.
I went to one thanks to the show just to go experience it. I didn't know that they even did them, and I showed it. It was out in the middle of nowhere. Man, there was 80 people there.
Yeah, see, that's the thing.
And I asked a guy, I said, has it always been? He goes, no. Before that show, nobody even knew about him. He goes, I'd be the only one showing up.
Right.
He was mad about it.
Yeah.
Ruined it.
Yeah.
Or as my grandma would say, ruined.
Yeah, ruined it.
Ruined.
So there you go. It's 8:57, and there's some news that you can use.
All right. I got 2 for you real quick. All right.
Sweet. I love it.
I don't have a picture of this, but Jason, what do you see there in this picture?
I'm colorblind. I see a boot.
You do. Boot. There's actually part of a leg and a foot in that boot.
All right.
And an old sock. So this was back in October of last year. I don't know how I skipped over this. The foot, boot, and sock thought to belong to Sandy Irvine, who disappeared during George Mallory's 1924 expedition to climb Mount Everest. These were apparently some of the first people that ever tried to scale that was known. But they think that they found it. They did find some of the remains of Sandy Irvine, but then apparently 2,000 feet away, they found the foot of Sandy Irvine in 2024. The boot contained a sock bearing Irvine's name and the remains of a foot. This was the British explorer who vanished more than 100 years ago while climbing Mount Everest. Andrew Sandy Irvine, he was 22 years old, disappeared along with the mountaineer George Mallory in June of 1924.
Golly.
The pair were attempting to become the first people to scale the world's highest peak. Still a mystery whether they succeeded, and here's the cool part of this and why I want to talk about it. It's a mystery whether they succeeded in the goal. They don't know if they actually made it or not. Mallory's remains were discovered in 1999. So you go, 70-something years later, they found him. But here's the deal. Those remains were missing a photograph of his wife that the climber had planned to leave at the summit. So they think maybe he made it.
Yeah.
Irving, who had been carrying a Kodak camera that may have recorded the possible summit, was never recovered. They never found the other body. The summit was officially reached 29 years later after that expedition. I thought that was kind of cool that they found that, you know?
Have you ever looked into Mount Everest today, like the tourism aspect of Mount Everest today?
It's got to be incredible.
Well, there was a documentary that was out not too long ago about this, and I watched it, and I really became fascinated with it, but it's become this tourist thing where you can pay these people and they essentially drag you to the top of Mount Everest. You know, and it's like $100,000 or more that you have to pay, and you have to go through this process, and they'll take you in. But they say that Mount Everest is just like a huge trash dump, basically, because of so many people going to Mount Everest, trying to summit Mount Everest, and there's literally lines going up the top of the mountain that people are literally waiting to cross certain sections of it because it's become so touristy. Everybody is attempting to
things that used to be good.
Yeah, and the difference though is when these guys tried to summit it, they were trying to summit the mountain by themselves with no oxygen. And now everybody that ever summits it uses oxygen. Or not everybody. I'm sure there's these Sherpas that live over there. They do 90% of the work, putting the ropes up, making it easier for people to climb, and doing all the stuff behind the scenes, bringing food to them, and all the stuff that goes into that. But it's fascinating to look into the touristic aspect of Mount Everest today compared to what it was even 40, 50 years ago.
Now when you get to the top, there's a guy there with a towel over his arm and a bottle of wine. He's like, you've made it. Here, let's have a toast.
Yeah, it's still extremely dangerous, but it has the mystique of the mountain is in large part has definitely been ruined in some aspects.
One last one for you, Jason. January 15th. So this was actually a day ago, but in 1919, January 15th, I say a day, I mean, yesterday in history, more than 2 million gallons of molasses spewed through Boston's North End in an event today known as the Great Molasses Flood. When I saw this, I think of syrup. When I think of molasses, I think of syrup, and I think about how sticky and nasty. I don't like when we go eat pancakes, I'm a mean dad. I don't allow my children to have syrup because it gets on everything, and I don't like the smell of it.
The Great Molasses Flood.
Great Molasses Flood. This incident occurred due to a faulty storage tank that was managed by, well, there you go, the United States. It was managed by the United States Industrial Alcohol. It was a distilling company. The massive storage vat measured 50, so think of all this molasses, 50 feet high with a diameter of 90 feet. It was known to rumble and leak from the time it was built in 1915. The issues occurred in part because the walls, think of this, all this pressure, and you know, you're out on it, you know what it's like to be on a farm and ranch and those kind of things. All of that weight, the walls were only 0.31 to 0.67 inches thick. The walls weren't even an inch thick in this container. Far too thin. So on January 12th and 13th, 600,000 gallons of molasses were pumped into the tank, filling it to capacity. This, coupled with the temperature fluctuations that affected both the molasses and the vat itself, put an added strain on the tank. 2 days later, boom, the container burst from pressure. Check this out. 40-foot-high wave of molasses gushing through the streets at speeds of 35 miles per hour.
Wow, it's going to decimate the old saying, slow as molasses.
Yeah, definitely not. But here's the bad part of this. The destructive force of this gooey liquid destroyed buildings. It took the lives of 21 people. 21 people passed away from this, and it took 87,000 worker hours to clean up in the aftermath. For many, many years after this, residents claimed that the area reeked of molasses on warmer days. So I thought that was absolutely something.
Here comes the big molasses wave.
Tony, get out of the way. Anyways, I said that because sometimes your brain thinks about things, and now tonight you're going to have a dream about this, Jason.
I'm definitely going to. Next time I go to IHOP and I'm sitting down and I smell that, I'm going to say, man, it reeks of molasses in here. I don't think anybody has used that phrase in history before.
You'll be the first. Well, hey, that'll wrap it up. Many of you are joining us. I just want to say a quick thank you to all of you. Couldn't get to all the comments, but Jamie Saucier, Saucier Woodworks, Phyllis Dillard, good morning to you. Our good friend Paul Oley. Paul, we love you, man. We're praying for you. You know, he lost his two pups, man, and just a few weeks apart. Two different things happened, and you know, pets are family, Paul. And we love you, man, and appreciate you, but we're thinking of you. Jennifer Augustinetti, she's joining, saying a terrific Tuesday. I'm thankful for what God's doing and for the Holy Spirit. Y'all have a blessed day. Love you, Jennifer. Thanks for joining us. Quentin Glaze, our number one engager, is with us. Kyle Kreiner, good morning to you. He said that Michelle was here to pick up her last check. Big shout out to Teresa Lawson as well. Thank you for joining us. She's saying good morning. Roger Burnett, that's Tara Burnett's husband over at Hearts Veterans Museum. Also Bill Doggett, Precinct 3 Commissioner. Thank you. How about the Horn family joining us? That is Richard and Linda saying good morning. Have a wonderful day. Lee Cooper joining us. Good morning to you. Christine Mitchell, great to see you on today. Russell Humphrey, Mayor Humphrey. You know what he always says? Oh, yeah. That's the Kool-Aid man.
Yeah.
We need to record Russell's voice. We need it for some things. He does a great job. And also our friend Asa Davidson joining us. I gave her a gift card yesterday to Cafe Texan. She won it on the show. She works for the school district over at Samuel Walker Houston Elementary. And she said, have an awesome day and know that God is amazing and that he is your healer. Love that, Asa. It's good to see you. Karen Clark also joining us this morning. Well, Jason, that'll wrap it up. No prizes today, but still text in because you'll be entered to win. We so appreciate Michelle for being with us. We'll be here tomorrow, Billy Cawthon and I. Special guest, Billy with Sam Houston Memorial Funeral Home. Noah Spear will be joining us from the Huntsville Lions Club. It all started from a conversation that Billy and I were having about CB radios. And so we wanted to start the Good Buddy CB Radio Club here in Huntsville.
I remember those.
And Noah started talking about his days, and his daughter had one from us on the show. And then I said, you know what, it'd be cool to get Noah on the show. He said, he's coming. So he's going to be on the show tomorrow.
Good.
So that'll wrap it up. We'll be back at it. Big thank you as well to Huntsville Memorial Hospital for sponsoring this segment, and they are our streaming sponsor here on Good Morning Huntsville. You know, the platform fees went up, and we found someone to help offset that cost, so we really appreciate Huntsville Memorial Hospital. A lot of great things they're working on. We'll talk more about that here in the next week or so, but we're excited about the great work that they are doing for healthcare here in Huntsville, Texas. Again, Huntsville Memorial Hospital. For Jason Bay, I'm Rob Hipp, reminding you that we're not strong enough alone to make it on our own. We need each other. So please provide a word of encouragement, lend a hand of support. Somebody out there needs you. We'll be back at it bright and early tomorrow morning. Good morning and God bless. Thank you, Jason.
God bless you.